Ani Bojo, Jennifer Henderson Indigenous Cause, Oshawa Donjaba, Anishinaabe Kwe, Minwa Jaganashi Kwe, Minwa Geshe, Minwa Kinamage, and Dao. What I think is important right now is that students and their families feel that we see them and that they matter to us, that we miss them when they're not there, that we are stronger together than when we are apart.
Bonjour, Nangwaganang Indigenous Cause, Nagikdo Dem, Anishinaabe Métis and Dao. If we could imagine classroom practices based on Indigenous pedagogies, that would really be a help for students. If we could imagine where students have inquiry at the center, where students have choice, where they have the opportunity for creativity, it could really shift what happens in our classrooms. Once students know that we genuinely care, once they know that they matter and that they belong, the outcomes can be quite transformative.
Ani Bojo, Erin, Elmhurst Indigenous Cause, Oshawa Donjaba. Together with Michelle Evans and Jennifer Henderson, we make up the Indigenous Education Team in the Durham District School Board.
The students, families, and community we serve guide the priorities of Indigenous education. Our programs and initiatives support Indigenous student achievement and well-being, family and community relationships, and rich professional development opportunities. The Truth and Reconciliation Calls to Action and United Nations Declaration of Rights for Indigenous People consistently drive our attention and focus in schools, placing human rights of Indigenous students and families at the center. Our ongoing commitment to reconciliation is focused on teaching about residential schools, the history of colonization, providing treaty education, and educating students about the contributions of Indigenous people both past and present. We connect regularly with families to share and provide opportunities for community connection, relationship building, and learning. In collaboration with Indigenous community partners, Indigenous Family Nights are hosted bi-weekly at GL Roberts CVI from March to June and October to January. Sessions feature a variety of activities led by Indigenous community members, knowledge keepers, and elders. Anishinaabemowin language instruction is provided, and families engage in a feast and community time while they connect and build relationships. Community partners are an integral part of the community events we host within the Durham District School Board.
Classroom learning experiences are supported by Indigenous community members as we live the motto, "Nothing about us without us." Indigenous student circles are held in schools across the Durham District School Board. Students gather regularly to engage in conversations with elders, knowledge keepers, and local community members as they reclaim their knowledge systems and build relationships. Indigenous student leadership gatherings provide experiences that allow students to deepen their understanding of identity and sense of belonging as they connect with elders, knowledge keepers, and engage in land-based learning. These gatherings were co-designed with input from Indigenous students, Indigenous community partners, and the Indigenous Education Advisory Circle. Programming was culturally relevant and responsive to traditional land-based practices essential for Indigenous student leadership. The Kinanao Indigenous Employee Network and the Indigenous Education Department host an annual First Nation Métis and Inuit Student Empowerment Day for students in grade 4 to 10 who self-identify as First Nation Métis or Inuit. The day is filled with interactive and engaging cultural experiences led by local Indigenous community members that build pride, confidence, and leadership skills. Educators are working alongside the Indigenous Education Department through a co-plan, co-teach, and job-embedded practice model of support to deepen their knowledge of Indigenous content and pedagogy. They lead their school community in creating culturally relevant and responsive learning environments that advance reconciliation and decolonize practices. Students across the Durham District School Board begin their day by engaging in the land acknowledgement. Classroom learning takes this daily practice deeper as students learn about the people listed, the purpose of a land acknowledgement, and how they benefit from the land. While the learning takes place consistently throughout the school year, there are several significant dates that we specifically honor and recognize. Orange Shirt Day is a day when we honor residential school survivors and learn about the impacts of residential school and the resistance of Indigenous people. Treaties Recognition Week is the first week of November every year. Throughout Treaties Recognition Week, students learn about treaty rights and treaty responsibilities. Indigenous History Month takes place in June. We continue to highlight and honor the outstanding contributions of Indigenous people while recognizing the histories and vitality of present-day Indigenous communities throughout the month of June. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation today. We hope that you will connect with us if you have questions, and miigwech.